Robyn and Aries looked at the stacks of $150 bills scattered all over the red-top pool table. Case slowly circled the table and finished dumping the cash out of the Gucci duffel bag. Casey James, also known as Case, was well over 6 foot, dark as tar, and as ruthless as they came. Cocaine was the name of the game, and he was the head of the black market of Los Angeles. He was putting his money where his mouth was, and was laying out $1 million of dirty money for the kidnapping of a federal judge's daughter. Case's younger brother was caught with 20 kilos of cocaine a few months back, and his fate rested on the shoulders of the jury and a known racist judge. "There you go, ladies, $1 million, he said, as he rested both of his hands on the rim of the pool table and leaned over the pile of money. Aries and Robyn smiled as they looked at the abundance of bills. "Hold on, give us a second," Robyn said, as she stepped to the side to have a sidebar with Aries. "That's a lot of money right there, Aries," Robyn said, as she glanced back at the table. "I know, but is it worth it?" Aries asked in her heavy island accent as she thought about what task was at hand. Murder was one thing, but to be asked to kidnap someone was a totally different ballgame. "I say go for it," Robyn said, as she thought about the money that they would be leaving on the table if they turned the offer down. "Fuck it. Let's do it," Aries said, not caring about the degree of difficulty the job required. She was ready to get paid and willing to go to the extreme to achieve her big payday. They both went to the table, and Kay saw the greed in their eyes. "Deal," Aries said, as she grabbed the bag and began to stuff the money back inside of it. "We get to keep the bag, right?" Aries said as she gave him a small smirk. Kay smiled back and nodded his head. If it were not for business, he would have pushed up on Aries. She reminded him of Rihanna, and her accent was sexy to him. He quickly dismissed the notion, but not before looking at her slim frame and round assets. He was glad that he had gotten plugged in with the infamous murder mamas. For a long time, he thought they were a myth, but he was quickly made a believer when they showed up to his spot. After he put the word on the streets that he was looking for them, it did not take them long to find him. He knew that they were the best in the business, and the job he requested needed to be done by the best. "Okay, look, I've already done my homework on this racist prick," Kay said, as he walked over to his desk that sat in the back of the room and reached into his desk. He pulled out a legal-size envelope and walked back to them. "He lives just outside the city and has a wife and daughter," he said, as he tossed the pictures onto the pool table. There were photos of the 50-something Caucasian judge kissing his wife, and then a picture of him getting into his Benz. "He leaves for work every morning at 7:15 sharp, and the kid gets on the bus at 7 o'clock. You guys should catch him coming out and force him back into the house. Don't play with this motherfucker. Establish from the beginning that you guys are willing to kill, if not listen to. What I need is for you to enter the home, tie up his wife in front of him, and let him know what it is. I want him to know that if my brother doesn't get a verdict in our favor, it's curtains. His wife will be knocked off," Kay said, meaning every word of it. He needed someone who wasn't afraid to pull the trigger if needed, and that's exactly why he called on the best in the business. He wasn't taking any chances and resting the fate of his brother in a racist judge's hands. His brother's trial was a no-jury trial because of the notoriety of his crew. The court didn't want to worry about jury tampering, but Case was a step ahead of them. He was going straight to the source with no reservations. "Say no more," Aries said, as she tossed the bag over her shoulders. Case then handed the envelope to Robyn, who had a key to the judge's house, his address, and the photos of his wife and kid. They were given all the tools to make it happen smoothly. Now the only thing left to do was to execute. Case watched as